Are you living the American dream or drowning in American debt? Many immigrants arrive in America full of hope, but the harsh reality is most end up struggling financially. So in this video, I'm going to uncover the hard to swallow truths, but they are critical if you want to succeed. I'll expose the hidden traps that keep immigrants broke. Then I'll reveal why the traditional American dream might be setting you up for failure. And lastly, I'll share the path that successful immigrants use to build real wealth here in the US. So let's talk about the biggest trap of them all that's likely draining your bank account right this second. This is perhaps the most damaging belief that keeps you broke. We come to this country believing that if we just work hard enough, success will follow. But here's the brutal reality. Hard work alone will keep you poor. According to a recent study by the Pew Research Center, 48% of immigrants in the US are considered low income despite working multiple full-time jobs sometimes. Why? Because they're trapped in a system that profits from their labor and they bought into that narrative. Don't get me wrong, hard work is important, but it's not enough. The immigrants who succeed financially in America aren't just hard workers, they are smart workers. I know it's cliche, but they understand the system that they're in and how to make it work for them. But before we dive into what successful immigrants actually do differently, let's address another major issue. I get it. As immigrants, we're often taught to be frugal, to save every penny we can, and while having savings is important, here's why focusing solely on savings keeps you broke. Inflation eats your savings. The money you save today will be worth way less tomorrow. Low interest rates. Traditional savings accounts offer awful returns, often below inflation rates, right? Missed opportunities as well. Over-focusing on savings means you have a scarcity mindset. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Let's say you manage to save 10 grand over a year, right? Sounds incredible. But with an average inflation of about 2 to 3%, your 10 grand will only be worth about 9,700 in real terms after a year. You're literally getting poorer by saving. So if hard work and savings aren't the answer, what is? Well, we'll get to that in a second, but first, let's address another huge factor that's keeping immigrants broke. This trap is especially tricky because it attacks the very core of who we are as immigrants. We're often told that to succeed, we need to lose our accents, adopt American customs, downplay our cultural backgrounds. But here's the truth. Your immigrant identity can be a superpower, not a weakness. Some of the most successful people in America are immigrants who leverage their unique perspectives and experiences. Think of Sergey Brin from Google, Elon Musk, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? They didn't succeed despite being immigrants. They succeeded because of it. Your unique background gives you insights and perspectives that others don't have. It's a competitive advantage, not a handicap. But, too many immigrants just waste time and energy trying to fit in instead of standing out. Now, let's tackle a belief that's probably costing you thousands of dollars right this second. In today's economy, there's no such thing as a truly stable job. But even if there were, here's why relying on a job, any job for that matter, is keeping you broke. First, you have a limited income potential. Your salary is capped, and raises are often non-existent. Second, you're building someone else's dream. Every hour you work for your boss, you're making your employer richer, not you. Third, the false sense of security. Companies can downsize or automate at any time, leaving you vulnerable. Think about this. If your job is your only source of income, what would happen if you lose it? You're just one layoff away from financial disaster. That's exactly what happened to me, right? I was laid off and that was awful. The wealthy understand that true financial security comes from having multiple streams of income, not from hanging on to a single job. But we'll dive deep into that later. Now, let's address a myth that's particularly relevant for today's digital age, for example. Don't get me wrong, education is valuable, but the idea that you need a traditional college degree to succeed financially is so outdated. And frankly, it's keeping many of you broke. Here's why. Student loan debt, the average person that goes to college has about 30K in student loan debt. Opportunity cost. Years spent in school could be years spent building a business or learning, high income skills. The job market changes rapidly. Many high paying jobs today didn't even exist a decade ago. Some of the most successful people in tech, for instance, are college dropouts or never went to college at all. They focus on developing specific high value skills instead of general degrees. The reality is, in today's world, what you can do is far more important than the degree you have. Practical skills, especially in technology and business, often lead to much higher incomes than traditional educational paths. Now that we've busted these myths, you might be experiencing maybe, different mixed feelings, relief that you haven't been doing everything wrong, but concern about what you should be doing instead. That's where the real work begins, because knowing what to do is only half of the battle. The other half is learning the strategies that actually work. Did you know that 43% of companies in the Fortune 500 companies were founded by immigrants or their children? This statistic reveals a fundamental truth. The opportunity in America is real, but the path to success is different from what most immigrants expect. So let's dive into the strategies that will actually move the needle forward for you in your financial life. First, you gotta develop a wealthy mindset before you can build wealth. You need to think like a wealthy person. Here's how. Shift from consumer to producer. Stop thinking about how to spend money. Start thinking about how to make money. Embrace calculated risk. Understand that some levels of risk is necessary for growth. Value your time. Start thinking of your time as your most valuable asset, not just money. Wealthy immigrants don't just work for their money, they make their money work for them. They're always looking for opportunities to create value and generate more income, right? Like leverage your immigrant as an advantage. That's strategy 2. Your immigrant experience is a gold mine of opportunity. Here's how you can use it. First, you identify needs in your community. What problems can you solve for fellow immigrants? Bridge the cultures, right? Use your understanding of multiple cultures to create unique business opportunities. You can leverage your language skills. Bilingual abilities can open doors in international business, translation services, and way more things. From restaurants to international consulting firms, some of the most successful businesses in America were built by immigrants who leveraged their unique experiences and their skills. Third strategy is build multiple streams of income. Wealthy immigrants don't rely on a single source of income. Here's how to diversify. Start with a side hustle maybe. Use your skills to freelance or consult outside your day job. Invest in real estate. Start small with a single rental property or real estate investment trusts. Create a digital product or a course, ebooks, apps. They can generate a lot of passive income. Invest in stocks, bonds, learn about index funds and dividend paying stocks for long-term wealth building. By diversifying your income sources, you're not just increasing your wealth, you're also creating financial security. If one stream dries up, you have others to fall back on. Strategy 4, master high income skills. Instead of chasing degrees, focus on developing high income skills. These include sales and marketing. Every business needs these skills. Coding and web development, for example. The digital economy is only growing. Financial literacy. Understanding money is crucial for building wealth. Leadership, management. These skills are valuable in any industry. With platforms like Coursera, Udemy, or even a YouTube University, you can learn the skills for a fraction of what that would cost you in traditional education. And often, it leads to way higher incomes, right? Strategy 5, build a business around your expertise. Entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful ways for immigrants to build wealth. I personally think it's the most powerful and the only way I would take to build wealth, right? Here's how you can start. Identify your niche. What are you really good at? Start small. You don't need a huge investment to start. Many successful businesses began as a side hustle, just bootstrapped. Leverage technology. Use online platforms to research customers globally. Reinvest any money that you make in the beginning. In the early stages, focus on growing your business, not just, taking money out of it, like a paycheck. You don't want to have another job or become an employee of your own company, right? When I first started my business, for example, I was working out of a tiny apartment using an old laptop. I reinvested every dollar I made back into growing that business. It wasn't easy, but that decision to start small and reinvest was crucial to the success that I got later. Now, strategy 6 would be like network strategically. In America, who you know is just as important as what you know. Here's how to network the proper way. Attend industry events, meet people in your field, join professional associations. Many have programs specifically for immigrants. Leverage social media platforms. Platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram can be powerful networking tools. Give before you take. Focus on how you can help others, not just what you can gain. Remember, every successful person you meet was once in your shoes. Many are more than willing to help if you approach them the right way. Strategy 7 is understand and use credit wisely. Credit can be a powerful tool for building wealth, but it can also keep you broke if misused. Here's what you need to know. Build your credit score. A good credit score can save you thousands in interest over your lifetime. Use credit for investments, not consumption. Borrowing to buy assets that appreciate is smart. Borrowing for luxury is not. Understand different types of debt. Not all debt is created equal. Mortgage debt, for instance, can be a path to wealth through real estate. Many immigrants fear debt due to bad experiences in their home countries. But here in the US, understanding and using credit wisely is often necessary for building wealth. And here's a question for you. What's been your biggest financial challenge as an immigrant? I know I faced so many setbacks that prevented me from getting rich for years, and now I made this video to share with you the things I wish I knew about getting rich in America so you can avoid the mistakes I made and be 10x more successful than I am in half of the time.